Thank you, Father, for the day. And thank you for the opportunity to have this conversation with your precious Andrea Nechita. How beautiful is that name? Welcome, audience. Thank y'all for being here, whether you're in your car or at home or wherever you are. Thank you so much. And here we go. I'm going to read you all the mission statement of our lovely guest, Andrea, today. Her mission is to design, develop, and publish meaningful artistic and educational content ranging from fine art and visual design to books and creative resources, empowering individuals to learn, reflect, and thrive. Oh my goodness. Andrea, welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for this mission that you have. And we'll talk about, my student toolbox that's out. But first, tell us a little bit about you. What inspired you to go in this direction? Art, education, and really helping others to learn, reflect, and thrive.
Hi, Carol. Thank you so much for having me on today. It's an honor to be here. My journey really started while I was in university. I have always loved art and learning and history, but while I was in university, there was a lot of stresses that come with being a student. And so art was really my outlet, my therapy to get me through some of those hard times. And from there, I continued my education. I did my first master's in Hungary in medieval studies, which was absolutely fascinating. And after that, I went to McGill and Montreal to do archiving. And it just really solidified, my love for learning, for history, and I wanted to support others. And so I got into teaching a little bit, and I currently work at Wilfrid Laurier University as an administrative coordinator for 3 departments: philosophy, archaeology, and medieval studies. So it's right
Fabulous.
up my alley.
I love that. So you decided to help all 3 departments, not just one. Lucky them and good for you. And the audience hears this all the time, but I know they agree. You know, educators and nurses, earthly heroes, as far as I'm concerned. So when we met, it was so exciting. A mutual friend, introduced us, precious Melissa. And I know we're going to do her book crawl, and that's going to be wonderful. The book that you are spreading right now in every way possible is My Student Toolbox: From Struggling to Thriving, Your Student Success Guide. I wish that would have been around when I was younger. Can I just say that? Did this book come to you? Did you realize the struggle? Yes, as you said, everyone has a bit of stress and struggle throughout their education. Did you write this because you needed it when you were there? Have you seen that as you are working in these 3 different departments at university? What inspired you to do the My Student Toolbox?
So actually, this book started around 3 years ago when a friend of mine was visiting me. And she was very excited to tell me that she was changing careers and she was going back to university as a mature student.
Wow.
And this was all very exciting, but I could sense that there was something more there. And she told me some of her worries about going back, about being able to handle the coursework, trying to remember how to study. And she was afraid that maybe this stress would be too much. And so she asked me if I had any strategies and advice to give her from my time at university. And so this got me into thinking about what kind of things helped me along the way. And, my academic journey was a difficult one, especially in the beginning. I struggled with burnout, stress, anxiety, and over time, I developed things, systems, strategies that helped me. And I didn't give these too much thought, but because she had asked, I did this deeper dive and I started sharing these with her. Um, and she said at the end of her first semester that she wouldn't have been able to pass her courses without me. And she said
Wow.
that this could really help others too. And that was my call, because she's not just one student. There's thousands of students like this, and I was at that point too. And so, if I could help, somebody just even a fraction to avoid a fraction of that pain and struggle, then it would be all worth it. So that's when I started to write this book. And 2.5 years later, I self-published it in June 2025. And my friend is enjoying her new career and having a great time.
So she's out and loves her new career
Yes.
just for fun. What did she decide to study?
Sociology.
Okay. Tell her
She
congratulations.
also wanted to help others. So that was her
Tell
call.
her congratulations and thank you. Um, okay, tell us a little bit, what you've just mentioned here, burnout, stress, anxiety, or just some of the things that you experienced when you were in school, and so many do. Is this book, which I have right here, is this just for students in university? Or is this for younger students? Or they're different age groups? Tell us specifically who this book is for.
Mhm. So when I wrote the book, I was writing it as if I was writing for my younger self when I started university. So that was the idea. But as I've been talking about the book and others have been reading it, it's really quite expanded more. So um, it can be for new university and college students, returning students, mature students, looking to change careers. It can also be a helpful book for high schoolers and for lifelong learners. I've had professors tell me that this book has even helped them, specifically some of the chapters on organization, workflow, time management. So that's just been really amazing to hear that it's been helping so many people in all their different life stages.
Wow. First of all, congratulations. I think that I love that you have professors coming to you and sharing the value that this book is bringing to them and to some of their students. I love it's for lifetime learners, which is why I knew that it would be helpful for me. I think that I have a dear friend, her daughter, getting her PhD. And I said, oh my goodness, I think she needs this book because she was talking about, as you had shared with me, pre show about the anxiety and the stress and the time management. And she's doing this and just had her first baby. And I said, oh my goodness, let's send her this book immediately. Do you feel like this will be the first of many books helping others within the world of education?
Yes. Um, I'm currently working on a workbook that will be companion to this one. It's going to have worksheets, templates, checklists. Um, so it's really going to be a great companion to this guide. And I'm also looking at doing an extended version of my student toolbox because, as time passes, I keep thinking about more and more things that that I used to do that helped me, and expanding upon those. And I would love to include some material that is at the higher level for graduate students, master's students, PhD students, because that is such a big learning curve as well. When I did my first master's, there was so much. The workload is a lot higher and you have a lot of research. And so I made a lot of mistakes putting my research materials together and thinking I was organized, but actually not, not being as organized as I could have been. And so I had to rework a lot of that in my first master's. And that's really, it's really unfortunate that professors, they want students to do well, but they don't have the time to be teaching the students about organization and workflow and all of these things. And it's up to the students to just learn, trial and error over time. And that's really difficult and it's not ideal. So these things come from experience. And so I love saying, don't reinvent the wheel. Find someone who has done it, who has made those mistakes, and that you can learn from them to jumpstart your success.
I love this so much, and I'm thinking about time management and organization. It seems to me that these tools, not only, it's almost like another course, because those tools are certainly needed throughout life, regardless of your profession, regardless if you attend university or not.
Mhm.
And so, a question, because I know that within our audience, which is of all ages, by the way, could this toolbox, and I'm going to report back after I've been through the whole book, but could this help those that are starting a business or they work from home? Could they use my student toolbox to get organized and figure out the time management and how to do those things, even if they're not in school?
Yes, absolutely. There's going to be a number of chapters that will be useful to them. There's so many, strategies that I still use today. I use it at work every day. I have it's called My Workbook, and I have all of my tasks in there. I have all of my progress, my deadlines, everything in one place. So it really helps me keep organized. And I have a calendar system that I use. I have a digital calendar, but I also have a paper calendar. I love paper based.
I love paper.
I love it. So I want to be able to carry that with me and to see it quickly. Um, and I love technology, but again, sometimes, technology doesn't work or things get deleted by accident. So the paper is really where I keep myself on track. And and some of the other chapters, let's see, workflow, trying to figure out prioritization and planning. So crucial, especially if you're running a business. And um, some of the other things that could be helpful.
Well, that is a lot right
It
there.
is a lot, yes.
Oh my goodness, that is, I know the audience is hearing this. It's just, it seems to me that this student toolbox is actually wonderful for everyone to dive into, to sharpen our organizational skills or to create them in some situations. Let me ask you, I know the audience is wondering about this. This would be, and a lot of our audience, you know, many have kiddos in high school and in college. looking back, which is why I do this, I'm 110 and trying to have conversations and learn and share from my mistakes or things that I have learned. And how incredible to have had this as part of learning and setting up prior to going to college. So that when these kiddos arrive, they have a plan. What kind of difference do you believe or have heard that this having this book, having this toolbox introduced maybe maybe senior year or the summer before heading to college, right?
Mhm.
What kind of a difference do you think that makes for these
Mm.
kiddos?
I really think it's a night and day difference. One of the best compliments that I've received in my life was from uh, a 17-year-old. His father had purchased this book for him and to help with his transition into university. And he said, "My son despises reading." And I thought, oh no, here it comes.
Oh no.
And he said, "You know what?" He said to me. He said, "Hey, Dad, this book is actually pretty good."
Oh,
And he said, "Could you please buy me some markers so I can annotate and write in this book, make notes?" And he said, "This has never happened before, ever." And so I just thought that is the best compliment. If a 17-year-old says that something is good and it's school related, then you know you've done something right.
well, I love that he asked for highlighters.
Yes.
He's going to go back. That is, I agree. That's the greatest compliment you could have received. I don't know. The professor compliment was pretty darn good as well, right? So let me ask you this. It seems to me that your friend who inspired the book, the professor, this youngster, this 17-year-old, and you yourself, this, my student toolbox, is something, because everyone's looking for this, that reduces, maybe in some cases eliminates, but certainly reduces anxiety, stress, and overall peace. People take medication for that. I'm serious. And I know everyone listening to this, we've had these conversations, many of us. And thank you for coming up with something that's not a medication. It's literally something that is learned. It also sounds like that your toolbox is something that if someone has no idea, you're saying, okay, this is how you set up. And then each individual can modify based upon his or her lifestyle or, you know, everyone's unique way of doing things. Have you had any feedback about that? How people just modify it a little bit to fit their day to day?
Yes. So the way that I structured this book is so that it can be personalized. And everybody has their own learning styles, their own learning strategies that help them the best. And so this book helps to uncover what your learning styles are, what the strategies would be that would help you the best. And my chapters on organization and workflow, studying, note taking, I share what helped me, and I share some more general strategies. that can help different kinds of learners. And so it's pretty open for those reading the book that they can customize it to themselves. And um, it's it's really designed to give that framework, that foundation, and then from there, they can build on what works exactly for them.
I am so excited about diving in, and I'm really excited about the notebook that you're creating to work with it, because I'm sitting here thinking, okay, I can't wait. My little stack of books I'm reading are right over there. But what I'm wondering is, you only need one copy? Because it kind of sounds like there are going to be a lot of notes in this book.
There likely will be, yes.
Yes.
But so you can write directly in the book. I will also have it available as a digital book. So you
Fabulous.
can print the pages that you use the most often. And and so there it's like an unlimited supply of templates and
Ah,
worksheets.
Andrea, this is amazing. I cannot thank you enough for your mission. And again, I know that the audience wants to say, again, thank you for a tool or tools that reduce stress, anxiety, and, create some peace around what changes the world, which is education,
Mhm.
regardless of where that comes from. But I have a question before we wrap up. There's never enough time, but I have a question. Do you feel, you had mentioned that the book reveals people's learning styles? Is this a book that is helpful for those that may have ADHD, ADD? Is this, I know it's not specifically for that group, but I'm ADHD myself, and I it I'm looking forward to reading it to tweak some of my, ways, if you will, or the tools that I use on organization and time management. I'm looking very forward to seeing if that's going to help me at all. Any feedback on that?
Mhm. I think it can definitely help. Um, Personally, I believe that I may have um, some of those different learning um,
Difference.
abilities,
Yeah.
and actually, I am going to be getting diagnosed soon.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going through that assessment, and I thought, now is the time to know exactly, what I have so that I can help others. And I'm I'm starting some educational performance coaching. And so I
Wonderful.
think, thank you. I think that knowing, my abilities and the things that I struggled with is going to help me be able to help others so much better. And so I definitely feel that there are pieces in my book that can help a variety of learners and abilities. Um, and again, it's customizable for everyone. And it's actually being currently reviewed as a possible textbook by the team. So
Just incredible. Andrea, way to go.
it's
Way
quite
to be.
exciting. Yes.
Very exciting. Okay, I can't wait for you to come back to share with us about the companion notebook, about your diagnosis that you received. I work with an incredible ADHD coach and Ezra, and he I'm hearing in this a lot of information that I believe is going to be helpful for those that may be neurodivergent.
Mhm.
Not sure, don't know, but it's certainly, I'm very excited about diving into the book. I hope you're going to come back, give us an update. Who knows? Maybe this will be a textbook by that time. You will have started your wonderful educational workshops. Is there anything you would like to share with the audience before we wrap up?
I would I would like to share that education is so important, and especially in these times that we're at right now. And um, you know even if it's difficult, you can absolutely do it. I did it, and I know that you can accomplish everything that you dream of too. That's absolutely possible. Find people to support you, um, people who have done it, who have been through it, and learn from them. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. And success, it's not random, it's structured, and it's absolutely possible.
I love that. Success is not random, it's structured and it's possible. Andrea, I just appreciate you very, very much. And thank you for sharing with the audience. I know they appreciate this information. I know many will go ahead and get, my student toolbox today. And of course, the ways to follow Andrea, to get the book, to see how this journey continues, that's going to be posted everywhere. We thank you again. Remember, all you out there, and Andrea too, you're an incredible child of God. You matter, your story matters, and God loves you so much. And I'm so appreciative of all of you being here. Thank you, Father. Thank you again, Andrea. Hook 'em.
Thank you so much, Carol.
Oh, I enjoyed every second of it.